when it ends. Welcome back to the Talking Average Fitness Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sam Burns. I'm not where I normally am, but he is. His name is Mr. Kevin McCarthy. Kevin, how are you today, sir?
Doing pretty good, Sam. We're both getting caffeinated.
We are.
Myself, 2 hours into the future. I can tell you the future if you want.
3 hours.
3 hours into the future. That's right.
Yeah.
I can tell you the future. It's snow.
We got the same thing over here.
That's the future.
Yep. It's gonna be interesting flying back. We've got a very early departure tomorrow morning out of the local airport, which is going to put us in Seattle, and then it's supposed to be Seattle to Boston, landing in Boston around 4 p.m. And so we're fingers crossed that by the time we land in Boston, the plows will have been out, the snow trucks have been out, the salt is out.
100%. I was talking to my parents. My parents are visiting my brother in Montana currently, and they fly back on Monday. And they were like, "Oh, is it going to be?" I was like, "Guys, Logan is a more than enough a big enough airport where they're get the plows out and get it handled because so many flights go in and out of there." But
so on the way in, so we landed at a very small airport, Redmond Municipal Airport. Redmond is so small they don't have radar.
Wow.
Right? So there was fog in the region.
Yeah.
And our plane circled for 30 minutes because the fog didn't clear. We actually got diverted from Redmond to the other side of Mount Hood. We landed in Portland, and we had to stay in a hotel and then drive over the mountain 3 hours. But because they don't have radar, everything is VFR. It's visual flight rules. You have to be able to see where you're going, and visibility is 400 meters. So that was a problem.
That's more than enough. Listen, you just isn't that a Ricky Bobby something? You just what is it? It's or live fast and furious. You live life quarter mile at a time.
Yes. Well,
I was like, there's some reference with something with cars.
If it's one pilot, sure, but if it's a plane full of people, anyway, fun stories with kids traveling that day. So happy we are done with that part, but that's not what we're talking about here today. It could be, but it's not, because
it's not.
Like Kevin is wont to do, he constantly feeds me things that he discovers on the internet. Yeah. And
just push Sam's buttons.
Well, yeah. And I had seen some of this from this very particular account. We're going to talk about this, this Instagram account, and what the hell is going on over there.
It's nutty.
It is quite nutty, and kind of deep dive on the pros, the cons, and the frankly fucking ridiculousness of the supposition. So all of this stems back to CrossFit raising rates for affiliates, right? So
yes,
we talked previously about this. The affiliate fee, the annual affiliate fee that every CrossFit gym in the world pays, has gone up. People who were on grandfathered rates now have to pay much, much more. Sometimes 9 times as much as their original fee. If you were a 17-year affiliate, you're paying $500 or something like that.
Yep.
It went from $500 to $4,500, and that's obviously a huge jump.
That's
and you had people who shook hands with Greg Glassman, who looked Greg in the eye, and Greg said to them, "I'm never going to raise your rate." And so obviously they've got a bitter taste in their mouth.
Yep.
We've talked a lot about the pros and cons and the reasons why they're going to raise affiliate fees. None of that matters to this particular thing.
Nope.
What has come out of that has been this kind of guerrilla warfare kind of movement.
An underground type affiliate.
Yes.
Yeah, did this page exist before the
Absolutely
rates
not.
went up? Okay.
No.
I was just double checking.
So the December 7th, 2023 was their first post.
Yep. CrossFit Affiliate Collective.
Yeah. And so much of it is reposting stuff from the Sevan podcast and anything with
I don't know who the admin is for this.
No.
I'm not a single clue. They are so far up Sevan's butt
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And like, you can have your thoughts one way or the other about Savan, whatever, but like, this person might be the biggest Savan fan. All about it.
They're drinking the Kool-Aid, that's for sure, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of this is like, you know, they don't believe in the ownership of CrossFit, and I'm gonna share the.
I feel like most people don't.
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe not don't, but most people, most affiliate owners, most people that are kind of like in the know, because there are definitely CrossFit coaches out there that have their level 1 that are just like have not a clue, because they're just like, I just show up in my gym and I coach the people and we have fun, and like, that's the extent of it.
Right.
But the affiliate owners and coaches that are somewhat in the know are probably starting to have their faith in HQ waver.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and they're certainly pushing the right buttons. I mean, so this account has 1,200 followers, 1,300 followers. That's essentially 40 followers a day from the day they started. That's pretty crazy growth.
Yeah.
And they're following, you know, a lot of accounts. They've been pretty active. We're talking more than one post a day for its entire existence. So someone here is paying attention. But it's a lot of this is like, you know, and as I'm scrolling, we're seeing a lot of cuts or reels from Sevan Podcast. And then there's, you know, we're moving the discussion to Slack. They've got their own Slack channel. It's not an attempt to replace a hostile takeover, a coup d'etat, a sales pitch. We are organizing affiliates outside of HQ to take action to protect the community. So there's very obviously there's a belief that what's going on inside of CrossFit HQ is not in the best interest of the affiliate, right?
Yep.
And so that's where this, I'm going to call it an individual. That's where this particular individual is coming from. So as we kind of scroll up, some of this recently, right?
It's been like the past probably a week or so.
Yeah, it's got a new flavor, right?
That the posts of like, it's not just like, hey, like, let's talk about it. It's like I did like a triple take.
Yeah.
Because I saw them repost on a story and I was like, wait, what in the fuck? It went from like, here's some Savan podcast stuff and like, you know, reposting that stuff to like, hey, let's talk about the affiliate rates going up, or hey, like, you know, what does this mean for you? Like almost sort of like a discussion to, hey, all the affiliates should band together and buy CrossFit.
Right.
And I was like, wait a fucking minute.
Yeah. And that's where we get to some of this more recent stuff. So like, what if CrossFit was a nonprofit? These are like certain responses. Well, I'm going to wait until it's our time to renew before deciding. And he's expressing an opinion here. Like, this is what you get if you wait. And then more recently, we get to stuff like this. How much would it cost for affiliates collectively to buy CrossFit? So
a lot.
Ultimately, current owners have to want to sell it for what I like about this before we go down the rabbit hole. What I really like about this is it's not inaccurate in terms of its assessment.
None of it's inaccurate. And when this person makes a post, I think it was like one or two after this one. Yeah. They're like, they clearly state when they're making an assumption, or clearly state when they're like, hey, this is what it is. When they're like, hey, I'm going to assume, like, or let's assume this happens, and then like the rest of the slides are kind of like predicated on that assumption. Yeah. So they're not like doing any misleading things, being like, hey, you know, this is no, you know, they're not like, I don't know, being misleading or dishonest with what they're saying or posting. It's all accurate stuff. And like, again, like reading through the slides, I'm like, yeah, like given that assumption, like, yeah, you're not wrong. Right.
So if we've, you know, let's page through this, right? Ultimately, current owners have to want to sell it for a price affiliates are willing to pay and can't afford. This is the biggest misconception about sales in general, right? The value of something is what someone is willing to pay for it. Period, full stop. If someone is not willing to pay something for it, then what you have valued it at is too expensive. If lots of people are willing to pay you for it, it's probably you probably valued it too cheap. So this is a very accurate statement. Owners have ultimately the current owners have to want to sell it. Then the cost to individual affiliates depends upon the agreed upon price and the number of affiliates willing and able to go in. So there's a cart horse thing going on here.
If they want like $100 million. Oh, did I get that number right? Ooh, before I was just making something up for easy math.
Yeah. So what they say is this. So here's a scenario. $100 million is the buyout price for CrossFit HQ. CrossFit as a brand. 10,000 affiliates buy in. Now, that is the great majority of affiliates. I think there's 13,000 current.
Yeah.
Right.
13,000 rough guesstimate.
So this is 3/4 of all affiliates, right? So 3/4 of all affiliates take out a 10-year loan at a 6% interest rate. I think that's optimistic given today's.
That is very optimistic.
Right. Monthly payment per affiliate is $111, right? And so this is how that breaks out. That's
and there's the calculator.
Yeah. $111 a month is less than the $125 a month affiliate fee increase from HQ starting in 2024. What they mean by that is if you were paying like what the great majority of affiliate owners were paying was $3,000 a year. If you're now going to $4,500 a year, the breakout is $125 a month, right? And so for most people, the argument has been made, you need to sign one new client. If you sign one new client into your gym and you hold that client, so 0% attrition, right? Then you pay for your affiliate fee, right? So his argument is this person's argument is the $111 a month is less than the $125 a month affiliate fee increase from HQ. That is accurate. The problem is I think a significant percentage of people who are being hit with the affiliate fee increase are not just going from 3,000 to 4,500. They're going from less than that. And none of this takes into account international rates and VAT and any conversions or anything like that. So this is very obviously rough math. So your choice is $111 a month, payment to own CrossFit, or $125 a month increase to get nothing. Now that is a very powerful statement. There's an assumption being made already that the money is not going to, nothing good is going to come out of the money.
Well, so right? I just want to I just did some quick math on a thing here because it threw my brain for a loop. So the 111 a month would be the payment per month from each affiliate for that 10-year loan for the 100 million, correct?
Yeah.
That is your monthly payment is $111.
Yep.
The 125 a month is the increase of what you're paying per month from 3,000 to 4,500. So if you're paying $3,000 a month, you're paying $250. If you're paying $3,000 for the year, that's $250 a month to HQ. So with the increase, it would be $375 a month. I'm surprised they didn't phrase it that way. Because that's because you'd be like, hey, you could pay $111 a month to own CrossFit or own 1/10,000th of CrossFit.
Right.
Or you could pay $375 a month and own nothing.
Right.
I feel like that's I get what they're getting at, but the way they word it here is it makes you think $125 a month for your affiliate fee or $111. It's not that big of a whatever.
Right.
But it's a very big whatever going from $375 a month to $111 a month.
Yeah, I agree. And then there's this comment, which is, I get this. This doesn't make good business sense. So 10,000 affiliates buy in, and then what? The company, it needs great leadership and making sure affiliates get the support they need. I don't want to go down that route. Seems suicidal, if I'm honest, as an affiliate owner. The response from this individual: we start by holding elections for a board of directors made up of affiliate owners. The board sets up a strategy, a direction for the managers of the company to execute, and the management reports of the board reports to the board in progress. Would you like to be on the board of directors when we buy CrossFit? Hilarious. So
This is
big
when we buy CrossFit.
Yes. Yes.
So like the thing is like this account has 1,200 followers. You need to like 10x that bitch before you are to make it that number, you know, to get to 10,000 affiliates. But I had the same sort of thought. I was like, okay, like when I started seeing these posts, and I saw this one, and I was like, all right, I'm just like in my tiny brain the gears start turning. I'm like, all right, if you do this, let's say 10,000 affiliates buy CrossFit. Yay, we did it. We took over took back what was ours and all that fun stuff. Tea going in the harbor, yippee-ki-yay. But yay, freedom. You do that, sick. Who's running CrossFit and how are you paying them? Because most of the profit you just did away with. And so it's like cool because you'd think that you'd have to pay people to run CrossFit in your best interest, which is where they're like, oh, we'll hire a board of directors. Sweet. Who's paying them to be the board of directors and how are you paying them? Well, and then when we talk about resources and I'm just going to, for an example, that we're aware of, right? CrossFit affiliate program and the people that work for that, someone like Mr. Hobart, who's paying James and how?
Because so what needs to be said. So I want to go through page through this, right? So 10K affiliate owners buy CrossFit. Then what? First thing that happens is we need to get enough affiliates to get on board with the idea of the buying, obviously. Second thing is that a deal needs to be worked out. Sure. If those things happen, then what? The first thing to do would be to hold elections for board of directors.
That could get messy.
Oh, for sure. Oh my God. Right. And so then we have the board of directors ideally consists of affiliate owners, blah, blah, blah. We're currently looking for affiliate owners interested in being part of the board of directors. Like, here's another thing that they put forth. 2 million people doing CrossFit. If a quarter of those people, which would be 500,000, buy one share at $100 a share, it's $50 million. Fans of CrossFit who buy a share could say they're an owner of CrossFit, help protect the methodology. Fans of CrossFit could also be eligible for special perks like first access to games tickets, access to owners' lounge. So, there's so much here, and this is where okay, so first of all, your initial argument about 111 versus 125, when actually it's not that. It has to be that. It has to be the 125 increase versus the 111 to own, because the purchase, that money's gone. You get 10K affiliates to buy, right? At $100 million, they're all paying. And never mind the fact that now 10,000 individual business owners collectively are on the hook for $111 monthly payment for a 10-year window of time. Like, what happens if 5% of those affiliates fold in 10 years?
I said, well, isn't the average lifespan for an affiliate 3 years?
Well, the average lifespan for a small business is 3 years, right?
Sorry.
Sure. And so the percentage that make it past 3 years is like 25 or 30% or something like that. It's a very small number. Now, if you are going for existing affiliates and you started with the longest tenured ones, you probably have a better job of fixing that, but that's beside the point, right? So you get 10K to pitch in 111 in a month for a 10-year loan at a 6% interest rate. So the upfront chunk of change you get is $100 million. Well, when you buy the organization, that's gone.
Yep.
And it's not like they're gonna, part of the deal would be any money or assets that are a part of CFHQ has to come with the organization, right? So that's got to be negotiated. Whereas if they just like golden parachute all the executives and it's like, okay, everything that's in the coffers, you get a deal, you get a deal, you get a deal. Then you come in, you own a business to collect you and 10,000 others, you own a business that has no operating capital.
Right.
What would immediately have to happen is every single one of those 10,000 affiliates would have to kick another $3,000. Because to your point, you need to pay people.
You need to pay people.
Like you can't have a James or an Austin or whoever stepping into this. And never mind the fact that like the people who have been a part of this organization the longest might just want out. Like they're like, I'm done with this horseshit. I'm done.
Like
And
it's
now,
changed 7 times in the past 2 years, and
right.
Jesus.
And so now you lose that, let's call it intellectual property, right?
Yep.
That person's lived experience of being an affiliate owner or seminar staff member, and then someone at HQ, and then maybe a manager or a director. All of that's gone.
Yep.
So now, in addition to coming up with the board of directors, you've got to recreate the fucking company.
Yeah. Just start over.
You pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah.
You're hoping that as a part of this deal, every single employee comes along with it.
Yep.
That's not guaranteed.
Nope.
Like, I don't know what the contracts
or all the employees that you want, right? Because you might be like, I don't want you, but I want you to stick around. And then they're like, cool, you want me to stick around? Here's the salary. And you go, well, we have no money.
That? Yeah.
We have no money. We spent it on buying you.
Yeah.
Or like if those 10,000 affiliates want to like not put in an extra however much money to like have some starting capital, then you're just like, hey, the 3,000 that didn't want to hop in on this, guess what your new affiliate fee is?
Right.
Yeah. Man.
I respect the initiative.
Yeah.
It's certainly one, and maybe both of two things. One, I keep thinking about that scene from Guardians of the Galaxy where Peter Quill is like, I have an idea. And Rocket's like, that's not an idea. And he goes, I have the beginning of an idea.
The beginning of an idea.
And he goes, what percent? I have 12% of an idea.
Yep.
Gamora's like, that's not even a concept.
That's not even yet. It is though. It's just, trust me, I'm doing something. I got it.
So that's what I feel like this person has, is like 12% of an idea.
Yeah.
And well-intentioned.
Yeah.
Though it is.
Yeah.
And this is where I interject my my own experience, right? So I'm very fortunate to be exposed to hundreds of affiliates and affiliate owners as a part of some of the work that I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've talked before about the fact that affiliate owners are drowning, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're not, and it's not for lack of information. They're literally drowning in information, right?
Yeah.
And being able to provide those affiliate owners with clarity has been the mission of many organizations, to bring business and best hour of their day. The organization that I work for, Fitfiliate, like the goal of these organizations is always to help the affiliate owner be the best version of themselves and be the best business, right?
Yep.
Ultimately, I'll shade this with my own personal beliefs. Ultimately, that shit comes back on the individual.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why it's so hard to be successful, is you've got to fundamentally alter your perception of yourself, and then yourself as a business owner, and what that means, and what the role of the business is, not only in the community, but also in your life. Businesses, like you'd have to put a business through therapy to get it to the point where it was doing what was needed to be done, because it's all people. It's all people running the organization, right? I see people freak the fuck out when they lose one member, right? And now you're telling me you want to put 10,000 of them together, right?
Yeah.
And I look at something like this and I'm like, this is why we're a republic. Like, there's a reason that our founders chose the republic model, where we elect individuals to to serve in our stead, right? They meant to serve your constituents. Now, it's in no way to say that that's actually what the fuck happens nowadays,
Nope.
but
Nope.
that's the intention. You know what I mean?
That was the idea. That was the concept.
Yeah, like, and so like, how is this thing structured? Are you do you own a share? Do you get to cast a vote at the annual meeting? I've been a part of lots of organizations. You know what percentage of people show up to fucking annual meetings? A stupidly small percentage.
Yep.
You know?
Well, it's like if you get 10,000 affiliate owners that all have their own views, own thoughts, which is great. Like that's part of what makes it special, is the fact that everyone is able to think differently, execute differently, like have different ideas and concepts. But you take, you know, if you're like I get what this person's getting at, where they're like, we'd hire a board of directors. Okay, sick. And they're like, well, people should make nominations. I'm like, well, Christ on a bike. That's like, all right, you're gonna get 13,000 nominations, and how do you whittle it down? Because like just as an example, if me, Kevin, was like, hey, I nominate Sam Burns, and everybody's got their friend, right?
Yeah.
Like, so Kev Gates like, I nominate Sam Hornstein, and then Spencer's like, I nominate James, and like everyone's got their nomination. You have 10,000 nominations. How the flying fuck do you whittle that down? Because I'm not budging. I'm like, Sam's the man to do it. Yeah. Like, because for me, I'm like, he should be the one in there. But 9,999 other people are like, who the fuck is Sam Burns, and why does he deserve a seat at the table? And I'm like, this motherfucker is the table. That's only gonna be a shit show and a half. And if ever it does happen, I will be there with my folding lawn chair and a bucket of popcorn. God damn, that would be just all right. Just strap in. Oh baby.
I love,
like, you look at that sort of thing where it just to get people to elect a board of directors would be a feat within itself, to get everyone on the same page. Like, all right, we have, and let's just make an assumption again, right? We have, all right, we took of 10,000 people that are in and amongst the thing. And who's to say that of the 10,000 people, they're not like, I want to be on there because I want to have a say in doing stuff.
Yeah.
You whittle it down to 10 people. You got 10 people as the board.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Those 10 people's lives are going to be hell when 9,990 people are just like in their ear, I want this, I want that. What if we do this way? What if, and they're like, well, we don't have the money for that. Well, why not? Because we spent it. I don't know.
And so a lot of this comes down, not a lot of it comes down to, so there's in this disconnect, this, like, we're talking about a collection of individuals, small business owners, fantastic, so happy for you.
Yep.
Like, the percentage of whose business generates $500 million is like 1% or less, right? And in order to pay off the loan and, have all of the money that you need to cover everybody doing everything, right? And even if you trim down it, like, you'd have to do a total reorganization, right?
Yeah, you'd have to,
you're like, let's call it $100 million a year is what CrossFit needs in revenue, right? And I don't think that's crazy. It probably is like, anywhere between a $25 and $100 million a year revenue generating business. And the great majority of that goes out the door to, pay for expenses. And that's everything from what it costs to pay Rogue, what it costs to pay employees. It's everything, right?
What it costs to rent the city of Fort Myers for the, not Fort Myers. Fort Worth. Sorry. Wrong.
Right.
I knew it was a Fort Worth for the games for 4 days.
Absolutely. So if you listen to business owners talk, and when I say business owners, I mean people whose companies already generate $100 million. They talk about the tiers at which people operate, right? So, like, as a small business, it has been said, and I've heard it from a bunch of different people, like, until your business is generating $1 million a year, you just need to do more of the thing that you're doing, right? So if we scaled CrossFit way down and the games might go away or become like a 2-day thing, and you know, it all goes back to the ranch, and it's not 400 people or 800 people, it's 10 people, like if you scaled the organization way down and you had not as much stuff, you had fraction of the trainers, you had a fraction of the people running social media, handling calls, support teams, all of that stuff, you might be able to get away with a board of directors, right? And the board of directors being like, okay, you're in charge of this and you're in charge of that and you're in charge of this. But once you get over $1 million and you get to $10 million and above, like it's been talked about, I've heard it talked about a bunch of different times, you need leaders. And leaders are sometimes very bad at the thing that they're telling people to do. So like in this case, you're not going to get a games level athlete who's going to step into the organization and be the leader that is necessary to inspire that team to get them to do the work that's going to bring that corporation to $10 million, right? Am I here? Am I frozen?
Yeah. No, you're good. You lagged for a sec, but I can hear you.
Totally.
Oh,
well, it's going to be what it's going to be. We'll do that when we hit the recording. But
yeah,
all of this is, we've got to find those people that are going to operate within the organization so that it's going to be at the level that you want it to be at. Those people come with price tags of, $250,000 a year, $150,000 a year, something like that. So it's there's a lot that goes into something like that. I think I got you back. Maybe not.
Oh, I had you most of the time. Can you not see me or hear me?
Oh, good. You were totally frozen on my end.
Oh, was I? Fantastic. You like lagged for a sec, but I could hear you. But then I would say stuff and you like clearly could not hear me.
To bowl over you.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah.
It was mostly just me trying to tell you that like you were good, so you could keep going.
Good. I appreciate that. Well, if I can, I'll edit some of that stuff out. Well, I think that, I don't know. Do you actually want to see something like this happen? So here's a great question, right? So like we got a choice. We have an organization that runs the devil we know versus this kind of hippie vibe, like Woodstocky collective devil that I don't know. Like just first blush, like which one strikes you as maybe a better option?
I mean, like I just think realistically, like the system that's currently there and the people that currently own it, is it perfect? Absolutely not. But like I don't think if 10,000 affiliates were to buy CrossFit, I think it all goes to hell in a handbasket and just crumbles because it wouldn't be able to be run. It like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I just, as imperfect as it is currently, the train's still moving.
Yeah.
And
there's a train.
There is a train. There is a train. You can hop on. Tickets are expensive. We're not sure where the tracks are going. There wasn't a destination listed when you bought the ticket, but hey, we might be on for a ride. But at least there's a train. I mean, at the end of the day, the thing that I keep coming back to is just like, Greg created this methodology and put it out to the world for free.
Yeah.
You could go on to CrossFit.com and learn about it and read the articles and start to implement it and all that fun stuff. Yes, you needed to pay your affiliate fee to be able to use the term CrossFit.
Sure.
If everything all goes to hell in a handbasket, the company folds, the yada, 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 like, the methodology that we know and love is still there and it still works better than anything else. And so it's like, I don't think we would see, Well, incredibly, but you know what? Nothing sounds great. It sounds relaxing. But it means no more thrusters. Yeah.
Sign me up for some of that nothing.
Yeah, sign me up for some of that nothing. Man. But yeah, like the methodology will still exist. The people that will always believe in it will always believe in it, and make sure that the methods don't die, but the company might. And I think the sport of CrossFit, or if I dare say the sport of functional fitness, I think that's gotten to a point where the sport won't go away because people will keep doing it. If CrossFit HQ dies, Wodapalooza will still keep on keeping on because they've got their own sponsors and their own whatever, and the Granite Games and the Dubai Championships and the Madrid Championships and all this fun jazz. Like, they'll keep on keeping on because they're their own entity. So I think the sport will keep going.
Yeah.
I think the gyms, or if there is no CrossFit, you can't really be an affiliate, but the affiliates will still be there. Similar to like when it felt like everything was falling apart in 2020, and we're like, this is how CrossFit dies. Like this company, like, it's gone now. The gyms were still going to be there. And that's where, like, I remember telling members, we're like, hey, whatever Greg does or doesn't do, whatever CrossFit does or doesn't do, we're still going to be here. You got your 200 friends. We're still going to throw down. We're still going to talk some trash to each other and do some kipping pull-ups and learn to walk on your hands. And I'm going to push you to go faster because you can. And all that stuff, that's not going to go away just because one person or a handful of people that are at the helm are an idiot. So that's my thought on it. I don't know.
I think that's a nice sentiment. And I think the greatest gift one of the most powerful things to remember is that CrossFit has always been free, and information in general is free, right? So like fitness is free. And you don't have to pay anybody to do CrossFit. You don't
have to pay anybody to do fitness. I was talking with my friend Jared. We were talking, like, he has some coworkers who were like, oh, but like, membership at a gym and this, that, and the other. And, Jared's a very, like, resourceful dude, like, has learned a good amount, but like asked me if he just said, like, you need a gym membership for. Go outside, run, find a tree branch, do some pull-ups and push-ups. Like, just fucking get some. I don't know, do a burpee once. And it's like, is it perfect? Maybe, maybe not. Will you be way fitter than most people if you just kind of vary up running pull-ups and push-ups, sit-ups in some combination throughout the week?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
Cost you nothing. Like most playgrounds, if you go to a playground, they usually have some sort of bar across that you can do some pull-ups on. You can do some toes to bar if you're feeling frisky. It's that stuff exists. It's out there. Put on a backpack, put some weight in it, put some like water bottles in it or something. Put a small child in it. I don't know, do some push-ups. I don't know.
And so like, it's not complicated, but what is more powerful, and this is, talking about I'm trying to be really mindful of time. The thing that people wield as a CrossFit affiliate or gym in general is the power of association, right? Like, people come in and now it's no longer just them. They get to tie their identity to the collective and to the activity, right? And so they transform when they do that thing. And that's the power of CrossFit, is you get to say, well, people like me do things like this now, right? And you become, you hitch your identity wagon to that thing. There's nothing preventing you from doing that, but it's
so hard to do on your own.
It's so hard to do it on your own. It's so much easier to associate yourself with something external rather than to generate that drive internally. And like, every single person who's ever tried to, like, January 1, like, okay, here we go, fitness, like,
new year, new me
about.
And
like this, and that's why people go to gyms, is because I will pay someone else to alleviate the psychological and existential discomfort of trying to motivate myself and find a reason to do this. Because if the reason is I go here and that's where my people are, that's so much easier than, who am I and why do I do this?
Yeah. It's so much easier than like, I mean, I was like from personal experience, like had a busy day yesterday
Yeah.
and was like, well, my time to train is in the morning. It's like,
Yeah.
well, the alarm goes off at 6 a.m. The assault bike is down in the basement.
Gotta get it.
Have an aerobic session on the calendar. What I got to do to prepare for soccer season. I'm like, well, do I really like the bed's so warm? It's comfy.
Yeah.
Like, do I really want to go down to the basement and sit on an assault bike for 45 minutes?
Yeah.
No. But then you go through the thing of like, when you said like the people like me do things like this, it's like, I'm the type of person that doesn't waver on my goals, doesn't compromise on those sorts of things. So like, yeah, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. I'm going to go down to the basement and like hop on an assault bike and hurt myself for 45 minutes because that's just the type of person I am. However, as we have discussed, I'm a psycho. So that's
also
unique and different.
And this needs to be said, you are conditioned so far beyond the regular individual that is no longer difficult. As much as you might war with yourself and the pillows and the comfy sheets.
I'm always going to get up and go do it because
you've got decades.
It's a decade of routine. It's a decade of.
Well, it goes deeper than that because you played soccer and you were an athlete in school. So like we're talking multiple fucking decades. Whereas for the person for whom fitness has not been a part of their journey, they don't have that foundation. They don't have that resolve. They can't see the light at the end of the tunnel because they've never experienced the light.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
and I mean, oh my goodness, my cat just yeeted itself. We had the conversation, I forget what episode, of like, I'm also in the unique position where like, I know how to do this. Like, I have a 4-year degree and 10 years of experience training not only myself but others. Yeah. Like I know that like even if it's like, hey, I've got a 35-pound dumbbell in the basement, I've got one 35-pound dumbbell and 10 minutes to do some fitness. Like I know how to put something together based on what I've done previously and where I'm going to go to like move the needle for me. And I have no concern. Like if you give me one 35-pound dumbbell and like 5 square feet of space, like things about to get litty titty, like fitness is going to happen. It's going to be phenomenal. And I'm not concerned about it because I have that experience. Whereas like we talked about this, most people January 1st, this year's the year, walk in the gym, headphones on. What now? Because, so that definitely is also unique. It's not only am I conditioned mentally to do those things that are very hard to do on your own, but also like I don't have any concerns of like, I'm just going to go to the basement by myself and the stuff that I'm going to put together is going to move me in the right direction. Yeah.
Well, I think as we put a bow on this, like there's obviously a lot backed into this. We're talking about an organization with a 20-year history and the millions of people who have their emotions and identities tied to it. It's not a lightweight thing to discuss grabbing 10,000 people and saying, hey, for only $110 a month, like this isn't a fucking infomercial.
You too can own CrossFit.
Right. Like this is a major fucking organizational shift and business decision. I am interested to see if this actually gains any traction or if like, and if so, like that kind of scares me. Cause like, I want to know who this asshole is, what the bona fides are, but that's neither here nor there.
If push comes to shove and they're like, all right, we got 10,000 people, we're buying in, nominate your board member. You've got my vote, Sam. You go.
Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Like, put Sam in there. He'll fuck some shit up.
Well, yeah. Whether good or bad.
good or like, listen, full born into the abyss.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you go because I know you got stuff to do and I got kids waiting to be entertained. Kevin, I appreciate you, sir. Oh my God, so many. And we'll come back next week. We'll talk about something different. And other than that, everybody take care. Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.